Last Friday, which was the 23rd of June, approximately 2:22 in the afternoon, Casper Police Department, along with medical personnel, responded to the area of 13th, West 13th and Southwest Wyoming Boulevard for an accident involving injuries. Upon our arrival, we did find two vehicles that were actually sitting about 200 feet south of that intersection. At that time, the investigation started. We did find out that the driver of the brown vehicle, his name was Charles Bloom, 89-year-old male of Casper, was already deceased when officers arrived at the accident. The male, 33-year-old male driving the red pickup, was not injured at that time. That we saw, he did not have any medical attention.
So, what was a factor for the crash? Was it maybe speed or distraction?
So what happened as far as there was an autopsy performed on Mr. Bloom, and the results from that is that Mr. Bloom actually was traveling southbound on Southwest Wyoming Boulevard approaching 13th Street. He had a medical condition that caused him, he was traveling the outside lane. The medical condition actually caused him to strike the curb, and then it actually projected the car left into the oncoming traffic driven by the 33-year-old male driving the red pickup, and then that is where he more or less was T-boned in that area. The autopsy showed about he had this medical event prior to the crash. With that, with the medical event and the crash was the manner of what caused him to pass away. There was no alcohol involved with anyone. The deceased, Mr. Bloom, was not wearing a seatbelt at the crash. Witnesses actually were there saying that the vehicle was not being driven by anyone, and we believe from that, after the autopsy, that this medical event may have caused him to slump over in the seat because a couple of eyewitnesses said that the car wasn't being driven by anyone. And one person said they only saw a passenger, which would think that the person, Mr. Bloom, actually has fallen over to the passenger side before the accident.
So it's pretty much he was the only one in the car, right?
He was the only one. He was the only person in the vehicle.
Do you know how fast they were going?
The estimated speeds that they're both doing approximately 40 miles an hour, which is the speed limit for that area.